Good morning, Flosstube. It's Helen. Happy Monday, May 21st. I don't normally do videos on Monday, so this is throwing me off a little bit. I just have a lot to do this week, so I thought, well, if I do it this morning, then I can start the upload process while I'm trying to find the house. We had a busy weekend. We had a birthday party that turned into a play date, and then my parents are back from Florida, so we were visiting with them on Sunday afternoon. We've got a little area outside that we're trying to get ready to plant vegetables in, so what work we did do around the house was outside. I joke that some weekends you find the house, you know, you're done, you go back to work, and it's like, oh, look, we accomplished things. And some weekends we lose the house. So this was a lost weekend. So today I have to find the house. It will be a process. So I thought I'll start. So is uploading, right? Uploading is a process too, so they can get done at the same time. I don't have a whole lot this week. I've been watching everyone's Mania videos. I know that's already ended for a lot of people that are only doing the 15 or 18 days. A lot of you are doing 31 or more. I've loved watching everyone's progress and starts. I've added a few things to the wish list, so we'll see what ends up at my house later on in the year. So they've been really fun to watch. I have today a couple FFOs, a tiny little FO, a whip, just a couple things. So we'll get to them. First, I'll do the FFOs. One of them is shedding. A few videos ago last year, I had finished Lizzie Kate's, I don't even know what it's called. It was one of her new holiday series. And I never really liked how it was. So I pulled my stuff out and I'm like, I don't really like that. So I did a refinish. So this frame I found at TJ Maxx earlier this year, and it's a clip frame. The metal is on it. And this was already mounted from how I had finished it before. So I just pulled it off, what I had it on, and put it on some fabric. This is on there, the clip. And for people who ask, I didn't shoot a tutorial or a video when I did it. I just don't have a spot for it. So here's my little piece. The frame already has metal on it. So if I had magnet, I wouldn't have to worry about that. But this is a clip under here. This is just fabric, legit hot glued on there. There's nothing fancy about it. This is a piece of the sticky board. You could use anything. I had sticky board. And I like the sticky board because it kind of holds it in place while I'm wrapping it around, so I could make sure my stars and stuff were lined up. Excuse me. And then I just put some ribbon, glued that down. The stitching itself is glued as well. I did put some batting. There's like that warm and natural batting, just a little piece of it under there. And it's glued the same way. I just fold it up and glue it. And then I glued that to this. So it's all just hot glued up. And then that will clip right on there. And it's done. So I like this much better than how I had it. So I'm happy with that. The other FFO was a piece I had started and shown in my last video, and it's the Heart and Hand Land I Love. And I didn't bring the chart down because I've already put it away. I love how this one turned out. So last fall, sometime this year, I was at Goodwill. I gotta dust this thing off, it's still dirty. I found this little mantle clock, and I thought, oh, I wonder if I could get the clock part out of that. And I was like taped. Oh, it was already out. It was just taped in there. So that left me with this frame. And it's 3 inches across. So I'm like, well, I need to find really tiny things. And then Heart and Hand at Market announced their little, this is going in those heartware, the little bowls. So this will be the lid. They're the perfect size. So this one is, I don't know if I can get to focus. This is Land I Love. I did this on a 20 count so that it would fit. I probably could have done it on an 18, but I had some 20 count vintage country mocha. I finished it on these little wooden basketball shaped things I found at Joann's that were the right size. I could have cut mat board, but these were like 25 cents a piece and they were the right size. And then I glued a magnet on the back. I put a little piece of chenille. It's what I had. I had a hard time getting it around the edges, like it's kind of bumpy. And I think if I had a thicker chenille, it would hide some of that. So if I can find one the right color, that might get pulled off and then re-glued. So then I can just magnet it on there and it covers that little spot. I'm trying to decide whether or not to spray paint this. I originally thought, oh, I'll paint it, it's crooked as all get out, isn't it? I'll paint it red so that it would work for 4th of July, and then I have a Christmas one that I want to have already to put on here. But now I'm thinking, well, if I don't paint it, I could put stuff on it for all seasons, because Halloween's not going to work in there with something red. So I haven't decided, but that one's done, and I really, really like how that turned out. FOs, I have the world's tiniest FO. I had picked up Prairie Schooler Sunny Days, specifically to make things to put in my bowl, which Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, she commented that this bowl is my cauldron, and it is, it's my cauldron. So I picked up that because I thought, oh, I'll put, for summer, I'll put like summery, lighthousey main things in there. So I started with the crab. He's tiny. He's a little smaller than I thought he would be. And I ended up on a 14. I mean, I made him as big as possible. So I'm gonna do a little pillow finish, but he's gonna need some friends down in there. So I think I'm planning on doing these 4 on this. I think this was Haven. It was just something I had, which I just cut the corner off. That is so crooked, but I'm sewing it, so it's no big deal. And then I have Prairie Schoolers July, the monthly July, and it has a little lighthouse scene. So that might be a bigger one that I do to put in there as well. I was kind of hoping to have those in like by July, but that may or may not happen. We'll see. It'll be ready by next year. So that was my little tiny finish. Whips. So this week I've been working on, I have 2 little secret stitches that I'm working on that I can't show because one of them is for someone who I know is watching, and then the other one, we're doing a meetup. Lynette, homesteading on the home front, is back in New England. She got in this weekend, so that's exciting. And we are actually meeting up in June, just a few of us down in Massachusetts. So we're gonna do a little swap, so I need to make something for that. So I thought I better get those done because I have like a month to do them. So I'm working on those. And then the other thing I'm working on is the piece that my husband designed, which is the Chocobos from Final Fantasy. So this is officially halfway done. The other half, it will fill this whole frame. This is an 11 by 14, 11 by 14, I think. I made a Q-snap cover for it, so it's like fits this time. So the other side will have the other half of the music, and then the other 8 dancing chocobos. So 4 more yellow on the top. We did finally decide, we were laughing that they call these, this is a chocobo, this is a black chocobo in the game. That's what they call it. I always thought it was a purple chocobo, but then when you actually looked at the colors, it's a pink chocobo. So we have our pink chocobos and our yellow chocobos, and they're dancing away. These clefts, they were not the easiest. So I had a couple of people ask about this chart and said they'd like to stitch it, which awesome. I didn't know how many other people would be into Final Fantasy chocobo charts. The plan always was that once I've sewn it up so that we know we don't need to tweak anything, some of the different parts, like I'm using 3 strands for the notes so they really pop, so we kind of figure what needs to be what. We will gladly share this with anyone who wants it. I think he'll just make a Google Doc and I can link it so to whoever wants it. I know Express Life Tiffany is interested. So a couple people have asked. So yeah, another few weeks, maybe. I mean, I just started it when I made my last video, so maybe I can get it done in 2 weeks. We'll see. I pulled the calendar out this morning. We finally have our official last day of school. I know a lot of you are done. We will be done on Friday, June 22nd. That's our last day of school because we had to make up a bunch of days. So I pulled the calendar out to write that on, and then, you know, you've got field day on there and all the end of year appointments and everything kind of filling in. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be like the craziest busy month. So we'll see what I get done. And summer is always hit or miss. I either get a lot of stitching in because we're driving places and we're traveling places, or I really don't. So we'll wait and see. Purchases. I have one little purchase. And in true Donna Ray style, I consider this a truly magical arrival. I found my unicorn, my Prairie Schooler unicorn chart. Someone on Stash Unload, unloading one of the Stash Unloads. I've been trying not to look on there, so I'd stop buying things, and I missed it. Totally missed it. So I put a me second, you know, if it fell through, thinking, no way. I think it was like $9, you know, it wasn't overpriced at all. And then like a week and a half later, she messaged me back and she's, oh, Jan, there's my kitties. She said, if you're interested, I'm like, yes, I'm interested. So this is Garden Beasties, and these, perfect size for this. I think my favorite is the ladybug and that little caterpillar with the leaf. There's a lot of glare today from the windows. So I'm really excited. These are all very small. They are 49 by 50. So when I do get to these, they'll stitch up really quick. So I'm excited. So that was the only thing that came in this week. I did get a shipping notice. I had ordered something from a store in Pennsylvania, and they had to get it from the distributor. They had a Lizzie Kate still in stock that I wanted, so I ordered that, and Audrey's squid pattern, ink circles, elegant squid. So that will be coming in. I got a shipping notice, so I'm excited. Not that I'll start it anytime soon, but it will be in my house for me to start when I so choose. The other thing that came in is my Victoria Motto floss. And I posted a picture on Instagram. I guess I hadn't mentioned this before. My sister and I, who I'm fortunate to have a sister that stitches that lives an hour away from me, so we see each other quite a bit, we split our floss. So she gets limited edition and I get primitive, and they're 20 skeins, 20 yard skeins. So we figured 10 skeins is still a lot of floss. That's, you know, it's 2 skeins of a Weeks or a Gentle Art. So we split them. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you've got to, you know, count your 10 and divide them up and all this and make little cards for them. But that makes the price fantastic. So buddy up. Find a floss buddy. Split your floss. You'll get all the colors. One of the ones that came this time, she had ordered some too, so I don't remember, because I just got them all, you know, here's what I got this month. I don't know if she ordered this one special or if this was part of her monthly. I kind of think she ordered like a set and this was in it. This is Poison Apple, and it doesn't have a DMC conversion, but it's this really pretty red. And I pulled out this fabric. This is the fabric I'm using for the Cardinal. 'Tis the Season Sal from the Blackbird Designs book. And I've been trying to decide on a color for the Cardinal. This is a contender. The one I was thinking was in fact Cardinal. This one was available just on her eBay store. This was one of the first ones I got from her to try out her floss. So these are the two. So those are both possibilities. The Cardinal is a little more variegated, it's darker. But the Poison Apple is this really bright, pretty red. So I'll have to decide which one once I pull the greens and stuff. But so I'm getting there for that. This sal, we're still planning on starting on Labor Day weekend. When I meet with Lynette, I think I'll ask her if we want to set up a Facebook group. I think she's done that for some other sals. I've never done that. I'm sure I could figure it out. If you're doing this with us, leave me a comment. I'm just curious how many people are going to be doing this, especially if you do Flosstube, just so I can make sure I include you when I let people know who's doing it. So we're starting to gather our stuff. My fabric that I held up was Storm. Picture this plus Storm. It's a nice gray. So that's what mine will be on. Then, not their last video that went up last night. Pam and Steph's video actually went up on Sunday this week. So when it went up on Sunday the week before. So I was watching their video, which was long. And because, you know, I can't watch TV for that length of time, I think it took me 3 sessions to get through it. But I enjoyed it. All 3 sessions. So even though it's long, as Stephanie says, you know you love it. So I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Steph held up. She held up this chart that she'd been looking for, and I about fell off my chair. So ages ago, when my mom was trying to get back into cross stitch, she and my grandmother had taught me and my sister, and they were doing some traveling, and she thought, oh, you know, that would be nice to have something to do. She crochets a lot, but crochet can get hot, you know, if you're in a warm climate, because it's all on you. So she bought this kit and she started it, and then she got stuck and she never finished it. And somehow it got passed on to me. You can work on this. Steph, I have the cats. So Steph, Lindy Stitches also had just bought this chart. This is an ancient kit. Not that ancient, 2001, which I guess is 17 years, so ancient. So I have the kit. My mom started it. Here's the thing. I have picked this up to think about finishing it for her countless times. Steph, I don't know if you've taken yours out of the package. I'm an Aida girl. You know this. This is thickest, stiffest Aida. That's why I haven't done it yet, because every time I pick it up, I just think, I don't want to work on that Aida. Oh, that's going to be so difficult. She also said the problem she was having is there's a lot of blended colors, which I think is what, I don't even know, like what these are over here. She has some pulled. I'd have to like really think about it. And it shows, like behind them, it says First National Bank. I know it's not backstitched, but you can barely even see that. So, Steph, if you want to do a stitch along, I've been meaning to get to this for a while, but we're going to need some different fabric. But I'll join you if you want to crack it open, find some different fabric, because maybe by like next Mother's Day, I could get that done and surprise her. So I was shocked. I laughed so hard when she pulled that out. The only other thing I have is just a couple shout outs. People I've been watching this week. The first one's family, so I have to. My sister, who I never in a million years thought would make a video, has made a video. She's going with us when we go down to Massachusetts. She's going with me. And she said, I kind of felt like I should make a video so people will kind of, you know, have seen what I'm doing and know a little about me. So she made a video. It's super short because she just wanted to try and make something short so that she could, you know, get used to YouTube and the uploading, and if she had to do any editing and, you know, all of that stuff that when you're doing your first video is kind of overwhelming. So her name is Donna. Her YouTube name is Donna Kids, Cats, Stitches, because she has a lot of kids and a lot of cats and a lot of stitches. So if you want to go give her a quick look, like it's 5 minutes, it won't take you that long. I'm still hoping that she can do a video with me. We were planning on that anyway. We just haven't, we see each other a lot, but not here. Like we'll see each other, we'll meet halfway and go to lunch, or we'll see each other at my parents'. But when we do that, there's like, you know, 5 kids running around. So it's just not a spot where we can make a video. The thing that I find funny about her stitching and my stitching, and it's probably the same with a lot of friends who do the same thing, or sisters or siblings, we have very similar tastes in patterns and projects, but we do them totally differently. You know, we have different fabric choices, different floss choices. So even though we're doing the same thing, it looks totally different. They both look great, but they look totally different. So the night before we go down to Massachusetts, I think we're having a sleepover. So hopefully, even though it will be nighttime and the lighting will be terrible, maybe we can shoot something that night. We'll send my kid. I only have the one, so he's easy. I'll send him off. He might not even be home. The night that we're going, the day we're going to Massachusetts, down in Portland is PortCon, which is this big video gaming, board gaming. It's this big convention. So my husband and son are going, and they're so excited. Actually, here on the table, I have to do some sewing this week. This was his Halloween costume. Well, this was his first Halloween costume. So this is a shirt from one of the Zelda games. It's Link's shirt. It's actually Link's pajamas. And that's what he wanted to be for Halloween. So I made him this shirt. Nobody knew who he was. He was disappointed. So when they signed up to go down to PortCon, I was like, oh my gosh, you have to wear the shirt, because trust me, everybody down there will know who you are. Like, these are your people. They'll know who you are. But this was long sleeve, so I have to cut the sleeves down and put some more of the fabric paint on and this tweak it. We made it big so he could wear it at Halloween with the like warm stuff under it. And now he won't want warm stuff under it. So get my use out of that Halloween shirt. Just 2 more real quick. Priscilla and Chelsea this week showed the next chalk on the farm, and it's the Queen Bee Flower Farm. And it's so cute. I'll get to it eventually. My plan was to just do this one for right now and leave it up for spring and summer, because it's fine. And then hopefully I can be ready and caught up with some things so I can do fall. But then maybe for next year, I'll try and do that, and it's really, really cute. And then if you're hoping to do that, or any of the chalk ones, Candy Stitches just did a tutorial on how she dyes her black fabric. So I'll link that below, because her fabric always looks better than mine. She did a great job kind of showing the process. So if you want to dye your own, to try it. I find sometimes when I dye my own, it comes out, it's because it kind of rinses out when you rinse it. It's not as dark as the slate. And for a lot of people, that makes it easier when you're actually stitching. Another tip for what I do a ton of stuff on dark fabric and never even batted an eye. I keep something white on my lap, like either just a piece of paper or a light colored blanket. But I find that if I have something light on my lap, then it makes the holes a lot easier to see. So if you're having trouble with dark fabric, I know it's not for everyone and you want to try it, try that with your light on, and it kind of reflects. That might make it a little easier for you. That's it, my little list. The next couple weeks, I'm going to keep going on the chocobos, try and get that finished. I already have a frame. I know a lot of you guys, if you have a framing store or an LNS, that you'll get your framing done there, which is fantastic. I don't, because I don't have one. So what I do have framed has to go to one of the box stores, which is fine. They do a good job. When we're at Michael's, and I've only found it at one of the Michael's around us, so it might not be everywhere, they have sometimes as-is frames that were just cut a little wrong, the wrong size. They weren't exactly what the the customer needed. The stuff didn't fit. So they have these as-is frames, and it's just the molding. And they're usually, when we were up there, I met my sister, they had like 3 or 4, all different sizes. They were all $8. So I bought one, it's silver, it's small. I had gotten one a while ago that will be perfect for this. They had this ginormous one, $8. Didn't matter the size, they were all $8. So then I can just, it's a cat coming through, so I had to move my stuff. I can frame it myself, and I can either order glass. Kitten Stitcher has that great tutorial on doing it yourself. So I can do that. She's gonna shove her head right in my water. And then she's gonna knock the camera down with her butt. They're happy because the windows are open. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Sometimes they're on like the back of an aisle. Come here. Teresa said to introduce your kitties. I know, you don't like to be held. You don't like, this is Emmy, this is Ember. She does not like to be held. She almost knocked you guys out, and my water. That's Basket Cat. She likes her basket. She doesn't like to be held. She's like, no, now I'm out of here. I'm mad at you, and I'm out of here. And when you're done, you better give me some snacks. So that's Ember. All right, you guys, I'll stop babbling. Have a good day. Bye.